Hello, we meet again on the QPVN channels. I'm Nguyen, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Vietnam affirms power to safeguard fatherland. International media spotlights Vietnam's grand celebration of the 80th National Day. Israel experience in science and technology development, suggestions for Vietnam. In the sacred atmosphere of the 80th anniversary of the August Revolution and the National Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, millions of Vietnamese people turned to Building Square to admire the military parade, to affirm the great stature and historical value of the August Revolution in the history of the nation's struggle to build and safeguard the country, the continued growth of the Vietnam People's Army, the Vietnam People's Public Security, and all classes of people over the past 80 years under the leadership of the glorious Communist Party of Vietnam.
The parade began with the People's Air Force flying in the peaceful skies of the fatherland. It featured ceremonial formation, units in the armed forces, foreign military formations from China, Russia, Laos, and Cambodia, vehicles, naval formations, civilian formations, and culture sport groups. In the sacred moment of the event, our party, state, people, and military respectfully remember and pay tribute to President Ho Chi Minh and previous leaders, heroic martyrs, wounded and sick soldiers, heroic mothers, heroes of the People's Armed Forces, heroes of labors, compatriots and soldiers nationwide, and to international friends who sacrificed, contributed, and provided valuable help to the revolutionary cause of our nation. The participation of 4 military formations from China, Russia, Laos, and Cambodia further affirms that this is a victory of justice, social progress, of conscience and human dignity, becoming a source of inspiration, international solidarity, and a strong driving force to promote the national liberation movement around the world. The spirit of the August Revolution and National Day, September the 2nd, will forever be a source of pride and a beacon, creating great material and spiritual strength, encouraging our entire party, people, and military to promote revolutionary heroism to the highest extent, the will to fight and win, enthusiastically compete in labor, production, and innovation and creativity, and realizing the aspiration to develop a strong, prosperous, and happy country.
On September the 2nd, the grand celebration marking the 80th anniversary of Vietnam's National Day captivated international media as a series of major news agencies around the world simultaneously reported on the event, which is considered one of the largest parades in decades in Hanoi.
According to AP, the parade at Building Square, where President Ho Chi Minh read the Declaration of Independence in 1945, drew crowds to pack the streets overnight to secure vantage points. Over 16,000 soldiers participated in the parade, with tanks, self-propelled artillery, missiles, helicopters, and fighter jets. Reuters emphasized that this was an unprecedented large-scale celebration in decades, highlighted by the Grand Parade and the presence of modern military equipment such as tanks, missiles, helicopters, and fighter jets. People in red shirts with yellow star carrying national flags poured into the center of Hanoi, creating a vibrant atmosphere filled with national pride. Reuters quoted Party General Secretary To Lam's speech at the ceremony, emphasizing that the strength of national unity is the foundation for Vietnam to firmly step forward on the path of innovation and development. Meanwhile, AFP and France 24 described the bustling atmosphere across Hanoi streets with a sea of national flags and people filled with national pride. The French news agency noted that the scale of this parade surpassed that of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification in April this year. The article also highlighted the presence of foreign officials and military delegations from China, Russia, Laos, and Cambodia, a testament to Vietnam's international friendship.
On the afternoon of September the 2nd, Senior Lieutenant General Alvaro Lopez Miera, Minister of the Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces, Colonel General Zakir Hasanov, Minister of Defense of Azerbaijan, Colonel General Alexander Vasilievich Fomin, Deputy Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, Major General Kasinski Leonid Viktorovich, Head of the Ideological Department of the Ministry of Defense of Belarus, Assistant to the Minister of Defense of Belarus, visited the Vietnam Military History Museum. The delegation included Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Trường Thắng, Deputy Defense Minister, Lieutenant General Đỗ Xuân Tụng, Vice Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army.
The delegations laid wreaths at the symbolic area, honoring the support of countries during Vietnam's national resistance wars. After the wreath-laying ceremony, the delegations toured the exhibitions of the Vietnam Military History Museum, gaining insights into the journey of combat, building, and development of the Vietnam People's Army, thereby highlighting the spirit of international solidarity, heartfelt and effective support, both in the struggle for national liberation and in today's cause of building and defending the fatherland. The gratitude activities and visits have contributed to strengthening understanding between Vietnam and other countries.
There are images and sounds that, even though more than half a century has passed, still make our hearts tremble whenever they are recalled. The stories are such concrete proof of that. Let us follow along to feel more deeply Vietnam's longing for peace, a longing that is simple and sincere, yet powerful, which has crossed borders and touched the hearts of millions around the world.
The war ended. The nation was reunited. The soldiers came home, carrying with them not trophies, but dolls with pale skin and rosy cheeks. They were called the Victory Dolls, a little gift for daughters, for young children, for the homes that had long awaited their return. After the great victory that brought national reunification, many returning liberation soldiers carried dolls in their backpacks. One of my comrades, knowing that I had preserved many wartime keepsakes, gave me this doll nearly 30 years ago. It is a symbol of love, of victory, of a family's dream for happiness, and a nation's longing for peace and independence. In the old backpack, it was just a doll, but in the heart of a soldier, it was freedom, peace, and the dream of reunion fulfilled at last. James Dunwatt is a retired U.S. Marine infantry officer who once fought in Vietnam. In his book titled Barefoot Iron Will, he wrote these words of confession. Perhaps our greatest mistake in Vietnam was failing to realize that we were fighting against the greatest generation that country had ever produced. It was an acknowledgement born not merely from the experience of a soldier, but from a profound understanding of the spiritual strength of a nation that fought a just cause. Vietnam's two resistance wars against the French colonialist and American imperialist were waged not only for national independence, freedom, and reunification, but also for peace and for the common good of progressive mankind around the world. Vietnam's aspiration for peace was never an isolated voice. From Northern Europe to the Americas, from Asia to Oceania, marches in support of the Vietnamese people, in support of their righteous struggle, unfolded across the globe. They were individuals far from the battlefield, yet their hearts stood close in solidarity with the people of Vietnam. Today, Mr. Bo Olin and Miss Maria Meschk welcomed their son's family for a visit. The cozy home in northern Sweden once again burst with the laughter of children, warmer and livelier than usual. After fishing and having a meal together, the children have a chance to watch a very special film, which was directed by their grandfather and the sound recorded by their grandmother 50 years ago. The film is titled Victory Vietnam.
We had many demonstrations against the American aggression, and when finally Vietnam was liberated and the land was reunited, of course it was a very big moment for us and for thousands of other Swedes. So I and my friends took to our cameras, went into the street to document all those demonstrations.
And when we were sitting together looking at the film with the children and the grandchildren, it was a possibility to explain for them about the history and what we had felt and how everything was happening those days.
At the closing scene of the film, a familiar melody echoes, not only in Vietnamese but in Swedish. It is the song Tiến Quân Ca, the national anthem of Vietnam, translated and performed by Swedish friends as a tribute to a nation that fought for independence, freedom, and justice. That melody is more than just music, it is sympathy, a promise that history will never be forgotten, and that Vietnam's desire for peace is shared by all humanity.
Coming up next, Israel experience in science and technology development, suggestions for Vietnam. Country and people of Vietnam touted on Argentine TV channel. With a population of over 100 million, Vietnam has a large domestic market, an important factor in promoting economic growth. However, in the context of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is profoundly changing the global economic structure, development based purely on the domestic market is not enough. Investment in science, technology, and innovation is becoming a core driving force for sustainable growth and the national competitiveness.
Vietnam is gradually positioning itself as a dynamic country in the region, with policies promoting the startup ecosystem, high-tech development, and international integration. However, to shorten the gap with pioneering countries, Vietnam needs an effective model to refer to and adjust policies to suit domestic practices. One typical model is Israel, a country that has risen to become one of the world's leading technological powers. Israel's dramatic technological transformation is a clear demonstration of the central role of the state in creating an innovative environment. Vietnam has all the foundations to embark on a similar journey if the country knows how to take advantage of domestic intelligence, learn from suitable models, and create mechanisms to stimulate businesses and research institutes to innovate together.
Argentina's leading television channel, Argentina TV, recently broadcast a special 60-minute reportage in the column Around the World, introducing the country and people of Vietnam on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of its National Day.
The show is hosted by Marley, a famous Argentine TV host and producer. Marley's trip to Tam Cốc Bích Động in Ninh Bình and the capital city of Hanoi brought the Argentine audiences to vivid images of the landscape, culture, and the daily life in the S-shaped country. The beauty of Ninh Bình is admired with its majestic limestone mountains and charming rivers, a place known as Hạ Long Bay on land, small boats weaving through caves, rice fields, and peaceful villages. In Hanoi, the bustling life of the old quarter, busy streets, sidewalk cafes, and the festive atmospheres were also vividly captured, showing a capital that is both modern and traditional. Notably, the colorful film frames of Hanoi on the occasion of the Vietnam's 80th National Day also allowed Argentine audiences to feel the jubilant festival atmosphere, resplendent with the colors of the red flag with the golden star of the Vietnamese people. In particular, the Telefe film crew noted the warm welcome of the Vietnamese people. The hospitality of local people were reflected in many scenes, from simple invitations to meals to sincere smiles, leaving a deep impression on the audiences.
And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch the news again at qpvn.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.